Today on Suncoast View, new Florida laws could mean new controversy in schools. You can now freely complain about what is being taught. We'll discuss.
It is peak summer produce season, and today we'll celebrate red, white, and blue with fruits and vegetables from White Picket Produce.
And we'll celebrate Independence Day with the Voices of Freedom. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show, and welcome to senior producer Joey Canick up to hang out with us today.
Welcome, America.
America.
Always here. It's just good to see you.
Now I'm here with you.
That's right. We're going to have a good patriotic show and get ready to celebrate Independence Day with everybody. But Linda, the celebrating never stops with you.
Well, my birthday's coming up next week, and you don't turn 79 every day.
So the celebrating started early?
The celebration started early. I had my stepdaughter and her husband and her friends and my daughter, and everybody's been in town. I've had a house full of people, so why not have them bring cake and birthday candles and birthday presents, and it was really awesome.
You were out downtown, you were hanging out at the house. I saw you guys do some arts and crafts. I don't know how you do it, to be quite honest.
And then work a full day.
I know. I don't know about you, Bobeth, but by the time I've worked our full day and I get home, I can't do anything else.
I go home and go to sleep.
Well, it was a staycation, you know. I got to go out to dinner with them every night, or cook out and go to movies and all these things I don't ever do here. Farmers market on Saturday, it's awesome.
yes.
But you did still work all week. Give yourself some credit for
Yes,
that.
I
Linda,
did.
I'm going to give you my hashtag. My Man About Town hashtag, I feel like needs to go to
I
the
get to
Woman
be the
About
Man About
Town.
Town?
Yes, you're all over. I'm impressed.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
that's
it
a
was
lot of fun.
fun.
There are so many great things to do here, and I think it's
And
awesome.
we forget.
You
We
make
don't
them-
do them all the time. So
Very true.
it was a great time for me.
That's a
good.
great point. Jerry and I over the weekend were, a little torn of what to do because it's not quite a holiday weekend, but it's coming. And so I said, well, why don't we do what we would do if we had guests? We would go to some of the more touristy places in town, but they're
Right.
still great, like Ringling Museum or somewhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The
Good
farmers
plan.
market's good on a Saturday morning, so that's a good thing to take in. And we've got some great restaurants. I think hit them all.
You started on one Monday by the
didn't
time
do
Friday.
a lot of cooking over
Good
the
for
week.
you. Well, we are, of course, in the middle of what is a holiday week for many people. So hopefully everybody you get a chance to enjoy some things across the area. It is time for our first hot topic. And a slew of new Florida laws went into effect July 1st. One of them may impact how science and many other things are taught in Florida schools. So the new law says any person in Florida can challenge what kids learn in public schools. That means a parent or resident can file a complaint, and an unbiased hearing officer will determine if the challenge is justified and whether the material in question should be removed. Science teachers in particular worry that this will make it much harder to teach things like evolution and climate change. Movies, textbooks, novels, they're also often under debate at schools. What do you think?
I think we need to challenge our minds and learn new things and learn both sides of the issue, because there are a lot of very big issues now. Learn both sides and learn how to discriminate and choose what's right and what's wrong.
I agree with Linda. Just because you don't agree with a topic doesn't mean you can't learn about that topic, even if it's a religion that you don't believe in, even if it's something, whatever it is. The thing is, being more knowledgeable of what other people understand and what other people believe makes you a better person.
And no wonder you don't want teachers don't want to be teachers anymore. I mean, these poor teachers are going to get criticized and, called to the unbiased officer for things.
But this is a bigger problem. This is how people become so closed-minded, because we only circulate ourselves with, things that we believe in.
Yeah.
And then you don't understand, like, for instance, another culture or another belief or whatever it is. And our school books are already watered down.
Yeah,
Yes.
they are.
And
they
to
are.
compromise a science class, I'm with you all. I think you keep the science, teach it as it has been taught, and then you can offer another class that says, hey, in some religions, this is being debated. But don't water down the science.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where you won't be able to say anything.
But the problem is we're the ones that are at a disadvantage, because if you talk to someone from another country, they know all of these different things, like,
Options.
from evolution to whatever it is, from whatever theory, and then they say, okay, these are the different options that are out there. Doesn't mean you have to say I
Accept it all,
prescribe to that
Yeah.
option.
I might get in trouble for saying this, but I think
good.
when it comes to books and movies, it's good to get offended every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's
You can get a
true.
lot of growth and learning from being offended, because when you really think about, if I read something that offends me and I really think about why does that offend me, there's so much more info for me
Yeah, and
in
you-
that thought.
You think up all the arguments against it, so you solidify what you believe.
Or you question what you believe
Yeah.
and think, you know,
Yeah.
maybe I didn't have it all figured out when I was in 7th grade.
Well, you know, it sounds like Germany, because in Germany that was one of the first signs. They burned the books so people wouldn't get the wrong information. So we need to open it up and let make people think about a lot
And
of
you'd be
different
amazed
things.
about the stuff people protest. I mean,
yeah.
the books and the movies, you know, I've got middle
Or
schoolers.
even
so-
religion. Like the thing
Yeah.
is, like, you know, a lot of people aren't, like, for instance, and we talk about Muslims. People just say, okay, we don't want to hear about it. But what is wrong with learning what they learn so we have a better understanding of the culture? You know, it's things like that that have been taken out of books, so everyone now has a different belief and we don't understand other people.
And we believe wrong things.
And just to add, our country is behind in science, technology, engineering, and math anyway.
Because
so
of
if you're
these
going to start to
things.
mess with a science class, it's only going to put us further behind, and that's
Well,
where jobs are going to be.
Expect to hear more about this as school goes back in the fall, because this just became legit that you can now stand up and complain if you don't like what's
Well,
being
they've been
taught.
doing that for a long
Oh, yeah, I
time.
don't think
Now
that's
it's
been a
just a law. Yeah.
Well, there are new government regulations and recommendations regarding childhood obesity. The U.S. Preventive Services Task Force says all kids starting at age 6 should be screened for obesity. This is much younger than previously stated. Kids who were determined to be obese by their body mass index should then be referred to treatment programs to change behavior and slim down. Studies show 64% of preteens who are obese grow up to be obese adults, and 80% of obese teens stay obese. Do you think age 6 is too young to start flagging kids for
Yes,
fat?
I do.
Well,
I don't
I
think,
think-
this is more not, I think obesity is a real thing and it does impact a lot of people. But you're going to create other problems with this. Kids are going to become self-conscious. Then you're going to start having more eating disorders because you're going to be worried about that. This is
Bullying.
not kids. This is not something kids should be worried about at 6.
But I think it's a good time to set habits. So
agree.
it doesn't need to be handled as fat kids. It needs to be handled, I think, for teaching nutrition to everybody, teaching exercise, putting them in place in school.
But you don't have to screen them to do that. All you have to do is implement, you know, good eating habits.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to give you vegetables, fruit sizes.
But it's the parents that need to be taught,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
at 6 the kid doesn't get to make a lot
No.
of choices.
True.
So
There's a way to do this, though, too. As somebody like, I was an overweight child, and I have paid for that my whole life. I've had a very hard time keeping my weight managed as an adult. And it wasn't because, I mean, I love exercise. I just wasn't really introduced to it as a kid. So I think there's a way to do it without giving the child a complex. But, I mean, obesity is a health issue. So
It
if you
is,
do
it
have to
is.
tackle it at some point, I think that's a good time to
And those
break.
habits start young. I mean, if the parents are feeding garbage and you have a 6-year-old overweight child, then that child isn't going to know any different. And how do you stop being fat when that's all you know?
I would eat a full meal after school. Like, some
And then
kids have
dinner?
a snack. I was like, I'll take a sub. I would have an entire meal. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it'd be a good idea, but not, I agree with you, don't single them out. I taught school for 3 months, okay, so I'm an expert, and we had the kids that were gifted and the others, so everybody
Yeah,
knew
and that's
who were
thing,
the
you
smart
know.
kids.
And
Yeah.
they're not going to not tell them, you're going for obesity screening. They're going to know they go for obesity
Yeah,
screening. They're
yeah.
going to know what their results are. They're going to know about the new plan. And then other kids are going to be like, you're you know,
Fatty, fatty,
yeah.
uh-huh.
I think it's just, everybody need to be taught
Everybody,
good
yes,
habits.
yes, everybody.
So does sex really sell? Advertising research suggests it doesn't really help brands and products. Experts analyzed 80 products over 3 decades. Well, not surprisingly, people remember sexy ads, like, of course, the big Carl's Jr. campaign, but the effect did not transfer to sales of the brands or products. In fact, often the attitude towards the brand turns negative. Not surprisingly, the negative attitude reportedly came from females annoyed that it took sex to sell the product. I think this is interesting because it shows that what we remember is not necessarily what we buy. You know, the best ads may stick in our mind, but did it really influence?
That
if you
happens a lot.
purchased?
Look at the Super Bowl. I know the next day I would come in and be like, oh, I love that commercial about the dogs. What was it for? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's so far
Yeah.
away from the actual product.
But like in the Carl's Jr. one, I mean, I would remember the ad, but I know if I eat that burger, I'm not going to look like the ad. So it worked for another reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get, and you know, I think cars are one thing. They always have, I'm not sure it's sex, but they have beautiful people driving these cars. So they're indicating that if you drive one, you'll be a beautiful person.
Feel like a beautiful person. if you
Maybe
drive
we're
the
becoming
car.
more conservative because we don't
Maybe
want
we're
the sex.
smarter.
I agree with Bill
Conservative.
Beth. If I eat a Carl's Jr. burger, I'm not going to look like that girl. Speaking of selling, the convenience of Uber may now include some other conveniences like snacks, mints, tampons, even condoms. Cargo is a new startup that provides random items you just might need while you're getting a ride. And it offers another source of income for drivers who get a cut from the passenger purchases. Cargo sends the drivers a case prepackaged, all ready to go with necessities. All sales are mobile web-based, and this service just went national.
My
They're-
Uber drivers have had some of those things already. They have a
Really?
little basket set up, yeah. So they'll have a little basket set up and they'll ask me if I want water or different things.
Is there a charge?
No.
Really?
You've been offered a condom?
No, I have not been offered I've been offered water.
Isn't this going to involve more interaction with your driver, which I feel like is what Uber, the reason Uber started was so that there would be less interaction with
Yeah,
the driver.
I would like that less.
Although if they're selling something very valuable or something I guess I
Like
really
a
need,
candy bar.
we can now kill two birds with one stone. We can get
Yeah.
our groceries from the front seat.
I
of an
mean, if
Uber.
you're starving
You don't
and
need
the guy
another
has a
stop.
protein bar, that's going to be useful.
You don't need to
Mouthwash.
make another stop.
Right, I guess that's the point. And if the drivers get a cut,
It varies on what they're selling, I'll tell you. Like, because
Yes.
I'll take mouthwash or a mint from time to time, but I don't know that I want, you know, socks or any other strange lawn furniture.
All those other
I
things
mean,
mentioned.
I just don't think condoms is something you should buy from your Uber driver.
you know, it's
Just
better
in
than not
case.
buying them at all.
I mean,
That's true.
just in case.
We had this conversation
It needs
last
to
week
be
with the vending
trustworthy.
machines.
Are
You
you-
got to get them.
Are you Ubering over to like a, you know, a boyfriend or girlfriend's home and?
And
Well,
then
but
eat
think
on
about it.
board.
You're coming home from the bars. You can tell where this is headed.
That's true, actually. That's a good point.
You're not
Supply
going to run
and
into
demand.
CVS,
Supply
but you
and
might
Well,
grab
if
one
you're
from your-
Ubering, you're all alone.
Not
Maybe not.
necessarily. Not necessarily.
Maybe I need to take one of those rides.
Well, another startup is hitting the road in California. It's a bus designed to be more like a moving hotel. It's called Cabin. You can get a full night's sleep in an actual bed while riding down the highway. So this is a far cry from just the normal packed buses. There are sleep pods stacked. They're complete with pillows, mattresses, privacy curtains. This kind of reminded me of those overnight trains.
Oh, yeah.
Well, right now these buses are being tested from San Francisco to LA, and it's only like $150. If successful, more routes will be happening cross country with departure times at late night for the morning arrival.
I like this.
I
Yeah, me
love
too.
this.
Oh, we used to do it on trains. When I was a kid, we'd go cross country, and you had a bed every night. But I'd really like something to pull down so I wouldn't be wide open to everybody.
It said there was a privacy curtain,
Or
so
rolling, you don't want to roll out of a little bunk or
Yeah,
anything.
if you're a
I love
wild
this
sleeper.
though. Get a good night's sleep while you travel. I used to take the auto train where you put your car on from Orlando to Washington.
Yeah.
Cuts your trip in half if you're driving up to New York, and you're well rested.
And
by the time
I've
you get
heard
there.
that's very pricey, and I think it's because of
That
the
is.
car
It is.
Yes.
transport, whereas this was not overly pricey at all.
This
Oh,
is
that would be
great.
nice.
$100, it's pretty much sometimes
Right.
less than a flight.
And
you
the
know?
problem is you don't have a car once you get there, obviously, if you're taking the bus. But no, what a great, I mean, none of us want
You're
to waste
sleeping with a
time.
long row of other people. So right next to you on either side is a stranger.
Well, you plan a trip so all your friends are coming along.
That would be fun. Let's do it.
You're sitting next to a stranger on an airplane. You know, you can't worry about everything.
And if you get an Uber driver who has snacks up front, then you're all set.
We did this on a train in Europe, and we were with strangers. So my husband and I, you let your beds down, you're touching the stranger's bed, and if anybody's got to go to the bathroom, everybody's got to get up in the middle of the night, lift their bed up.
And
wait
Bud
for that
snored,
person to
so I
get
bet
back.
he was really popular there. Well, it wasn't just wedding bells for one couple, it was also Taco Bell. This couple won a contest to be the first couple to be bound in holy matrimony in a Las Vegas Taco Bell wedding chapel. The reception included a two-tiered Cinnabon Delights cake, owned, of course, by Taco Bell, a sauce packet bouquet, a Taco Bell garter, bow tie, and a taco 12-pack. Now, apparently the groom is known for live streaming his visits to Taco Bell, and he typically orders one of everything on the menu.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness, and he's thin.
How bizarre.
He
Amazing.
must really love Taco
He
Bell.
might- yeah.
I guess.
And
maybe.
she's a good sport.
She
Yeah.
is definitely
I hope
a
she's
good
getting
sport.
another wedding. Like, you know, this is
Right.
just the first one.
Or at least taking all the money they saved and going to buy a fabulous house or something.
Yes,
I don't know.
yeah.
All right, we're going to check out our happy hour forecast. When we come back, a patriotic performance from the choral artists of Sarasota.
Thanks, Stephanie. It is hotter than a firecracker outside. It's nice being in the cool studio, isn't it, right now? Because if you go outside, your glasses fog up with all the humidity. It's probably going to stay that way right on through the 4th. Look at temperatures across the area. These are actual air temperatures, 86 at Siesta, 92 at Mayaca City. But look what happens when you factor in the humidity. It feels like over 102 at Arcadia and Mayaca City. Even Siesta Key, it feels like 98. So that's the problem this time of year when you get the heat and the humidity, but that's kind of what you expect during the 4th of July. A lot of southeasterly flow coming in, bringing that moisture from the tropics right over the Sunshine State. We had a line of fairly heavy storms develop from just north of Orlando over Tampa Bay, and we're on the back side of that over toward Parrish, southward down to Sarasota. We've seen some scattered showers, and those will be with us through the evening hour. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 5, we will have a complete look at your 4th of July forecast and a look at the tropics. Things are beginning to happen there.
Patriotic music is a big part of our American culture and a wonderful way to celebrate our nation's birthday. Every Independence Day, the choral artists of Sarasota present Voices of Freedom, a concert full of songs that celebrate our country. And here they are with a preview in today's Sounds of the Suncoast. Take it away, guys. Dr. Joseph Holt is the director of the choral artists. Okay, you had a name change, not you, but the group.
We
Right.
did. We changed it from Glory Music High to Choral Artists of Sarasota. It represents who we are and where we come from, and we felt like this was the right time to make that change.
And this is the right time to have a concert like this.
Oh, it's a perfect time
This
for
music
it.
is wonderful.
Exactly.
So what are some of the things we'll hear? What kind of patriotic music?
Well, we always hear, you know, You're a Grand Old Flag, God Bless America, the National Anthem. We even do a rip-rousing version of the Battle Hymn of the Republic. And we always do a tribute to the armed forces. So we,
I love that.
You know, for the Army, the Air Force,
the Marines.
The Marines, exactly. You got to get the Marines in there. But as I teasingly say, you know, we start out with the Coast Guard, which is the youngest, and we end with the Army, which is the most mature.
You do the Gettysburg Address.
We're going to do a setting of the Gettysburg Address this year. That's why we titled it Voices of Freedom, because there are various comments, you know, from some of our presidents, some of our statesmen, you know, and some of our musicians in history that, you know, really show us, you know, and pay for us the way of how we got to where we are now in terms of, you know, being free and, you know, I mean, celebrating that freedom.
You can just feel your pride rise as you hear this music.
It's true.
It really does a lot to commemorate our country, doesn't it?
It does, very much so, especially now, you know, considering, you know, there's a little bit of divisiveness going on, you know, so this brings us together in a way that's unique, and I think that we can all celebrate. And I mean, think about, you know, after 9/11, what's the first thing to happen? All of Congress stood on the steps of the Capitol singing "God Bless America."
Yes.
You know, so these are moments that, I mean, not that this is a bad moment and that like a 9/11, but it is a
time we
moment
need
that
to
brings
come
everyone
together.
exactly
together.
brings all
Yes.
of our good hearts together.
And it brings our pride back in who we are, and it
Yeah.
makes us a little better, I think.
Well, we're
for
always
it.
proud in who we are. I think
Yes,
we can
are.
always say that.
But you add something to that. We are very glad that you're having this concert. And it's going to be at 4:30 on the 4th of July at the First United Methodist Church on Pineapple. This will be a wonderful thing to observe. Of course, this is just a small part.
This is a very small portion. I mean, you realize these are just 4 singers from a group of 40.
You sound like
So-
40. You
Yes.
sound amazing.
Well,
Such
so you can
powerful
imagine what the
voices.
whole 40 sound like. It's like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir of Sarasota.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So definitely a reason to go, right?
Yes, but we'll
Absolutely.
be back in just a minute. Dr. Jenny's going to tell us about the human growth hormone. But would you guys sing another song for us?
Yes,
Would
we
you
will.
sing
But
us
you
in
know
a
what?
break?
You all need to have some props
Oh, we need
to
flags.
help out with this.
Let's pass these
Yes,
down.
exactly.
Love props.
I don't-
Yeah, because you know we have to show our patriotism here.
Absolutely.
Did you get everybody down there?
Yep, pass
Did you
them
guys get
down.
one? Here we
They're
go.
singing, they can't
All
hold
right,
flags.
thank you.
We share.
I got it.
Uh-oh.
I got it. I got it.
Okay. So we thought we would end up with a little bit of God Bless America.
Oh, wonderful.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Until recently, getting older meant losing your energy, memory, sex drive, even gaining weight, but it doesn't have to.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jenny Wilkins, owner of Age Vital Pharmacy Research and Wellness. Reversing or slowing the effects of aging can be as simple as supplementing vitamins, minerals, and hormones that your body needs in order to look and feel young again. At Age Vital, we do this without taking harmful prescription drugs that often have a longer list of side effects than benefits. Growing older doesn't mean you have to feel older. Age well, Age Vital.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
ABC7's official Suncoast Hurricane Guide arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit. Download yours today at mysuncoast.com.
We are all looking for that magic potion that will help us stay young, and for some it is found in human growth hormone, or HGH. Dr. Jenny Wilkins from Age Vital Pharmacy is here to help us understand if this really is the fountain of youth. All right, most of us know about HGH from the athletic scandals and people getting involved in it. What is human growth hormone?
Well, human growth hormone, everybody goes through a period in their life where when you're going through andropause or menopause, you actually go through something called somatopause. So somatotropin is an actual chemical in our body that's in there. You can measure it and test for it, where your somatotropin comes to a pause, which is human growth hormone. Human growth hormone, believe it or not, I tell people, don't be scared of it. It's just amino acids. And what are amino acids? The building blocks to everything. That starts to plummet. Everything else starts to plummet in your body as well.
So we have it in our bodies.
You have it in our body.
It
It's
just
something, right?
goes
The
away.
athletes, the ones that are over abusing, and that's what gives it a bad name, because they think more is better, more is better. They feel so great when they're on it. They want to take more and more and more and more, and then everything else starts to grow with it. It's a hormone that promotes growth in your body. So growth from tissue to cartilage to more white blood cells. The more white blood cells you have, the better your immune system. I mean, the elderly need it. I wish I was like a billionaire so I can go to nursing homes.
I'll be 79 next week. Would it help me?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, they use it. You see Suzanne Summers, how magnificent she looks. What is she, like 74, 75? And she's like her sexy years, where she's doing growth hormone. Sylvester Stallone, same thing, 76, 77 years old. You have doctors like Dr. Jeffrey Life. Look him up. You know, he's got six-pack abs.
All right, well, let's take a look at some of the symptoms for when we know that we're not having as much human growth hormone being produced as we want to.
Well, people will often get anxious, or they start feeling depressed. Guys will start going bald, and then you get lots of low energy, fatigue, low sex drive, and then decreased strength is the big one, you know, especially when mommies are having children. Right after you have that postpartum, your growth hormone's really low. I remember with baby number 4, I couldn't even open up like a jar. Normally I'm like, oh, and I open up everything, you know, where other women can do it. And I'm going, oh my gosh, my growth hormone must be so low. But the moment I start putting that growth hormone back in, my strength comes back, my muscular strength. So you almost have like that weakness in your muscles.
Okay, so ways we can put the human growth hormone back into our lives.
Well, I have my over-the-counter supplements, my active HGH, and I produced that because I was surprised how many vitamin companies didn't have that. I'm like, it's just amino acids. So I put all of the amino acids that are precursors. It's 100% cacao with 21 amino acids in an all-vegan supplement.
And you don't need a prescription
You don't
for
need a
this?
prescription for that, but it will naturally convert into growth hormone. And then my Amino Pro, same thing. It's like my active HGH, but in capsule form. So it promotes healing really, really fast. A lot of people that go through surgery right after, you know, having, you know, liposuction or something, they're like, how do I get these scars to go? I was like, get on my amino acids, get on my active HGH, or for $100, test to see where your growth hormone is, and if it's super, super low, then we can go to injections. And the injections are prepped like that. Comes with the water and in a powder, and then little insulin syringes. So right below the belly button, they'll do these nightly injections. They sleep like rocks, and then the wrinkles start disappearing, the collagen comes back.
But that's nice to know you can get a test, because some of those symptoms
Yes.
could be other things, right? So you should get the test to see if you need
It's always great to test. You could never go wrong when testing. And some people are so, you know, they're just so deficient, and they just feel like slugs, you know, and no one wants to feel you know, sluggish.
It's amazing you say that, because, you know, you just never know that human growth hormone is something we already have.
I already have. And I was so deficient in it when I started putting it, you know, injecting it every single day. My husband's like, I think I'm shrinking, honey. I think I'm shrinking. And then he measured me. He's like, oh my gosh. He's like, you're growing. I actually grew 2 inches when I put myself on the growth hormone. So it made me think of, I'm from a third world country. I was so malnourished.
You probably didn't have
Right.
it.
I didn't have enough growing up. So I grew 2 inches. I was always 4'11". Now I'm like 5'1 1/4".
Human growth hormone, something our bodies produce and need. You, of course, find Dr. Jenny at Age Vital Pharmacy on Main Street in downtown Sarasota, or you can check out their website, agevital.com. Coming up next, we're going to pick the perfect picnic produce. Say that 3 times fast.
Perfect picnic produce.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction Hope and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Thanks to my volunteer, I am a better eater.
Thanks to my volunteer, math seems simple now.
Thanks to my volunteer, I discovered new career goals.
I'm a volunteer for Sarasota County Schools, so I know I can make a difference. And you can too. Give an hour, change a life.
Summer is here on the Suncoast, and one way you can tell is by looking at the bright colors in the produce section of your local market. But each color means a different health benefit for our bodies. Here to explain a little more is Sharon Vross from White Picket Produce. Welcome back, Sharon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Well,
This
we
is
love when you come.
perfect.
Oh, what pretty things you brought.
Summer
And
is my favorite.
it's healthy.
It
You
is
brought us some healthy
healthy.
and some really creative ways to serve it. But let's start with, we're talking, Independence Day, red, white, and blue. You mentioned that there's some health benefits to each color in produce.
There are. Summer produce is vibrant and colorful, but that also means that there's a different phytochemical in each of the colors that you see. So let's talk about phytochemicals in red, white, and blue veggies and fruits. Red, you've heard this before, lycopene in
Yes,
tomatoes, watermelon. It's great for fighting cancer, heart disease, infertility issues, diabetes, osteoporosis, cataracts. So you want it, and it also acts as an internal sunscreen for your skin. That doesn't mean not to wear sunscreen after eating a tomato.
Never gonna look like a tomato.
Exactly.
I'm good, I've got an apple.
So,
Yeah.
but that's a great way too. And you want to definitely eat some red peppers, tomatoes, watermelon, carrots, sweet potatoes, all packed with lycopene.
And all good in season now?
Right now, watermelon, tomatoes, for sure.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a
Great.
summer veggie.
All right, now lead us into the white. What is the white?
Allicin. Allicin is the chemical in white fruits and veggies. It helps lower blood pressure, keeps your cholesterol healthy, your heart healthy, and may even lower some risk in cancers, certain cancers.
Wow.
Cauliflower, garlic, white potatoes, white corn, mushrooms, pears, all
Cucumbers.
great. Yes,
Nice.
cucumbers.
Steph, we're getting healthier as we go.
She's so healthy.
All right.
And then the other one is blue. Now, did you know that there is no real natural occurring blue color in nature? You will find purple, dark red veggies and dark red, purple kind of looks like
So
blue.
a blueberry is not a
It's not
blueberry?
blue, it's purple. It's purple.
Oh.
I'm going to be on a personal mission to prove that that is true.
That is a chemical called anthocyanin.
Okay.
And you're going to fight aging, neurological diseases, inflammation, and diabetes. This is my favorite one, though.
Wow.
This is
The blue one?
strawberries,
Yeah.
blueberries, raspberries, cherries, grapes, eggplant, purple sweet potatoes.
Well, you have really got me sold on the product.
This is why they say vegetables are good for you.
So it isn't just what it does inside, but you have found some really creative ways to prep them for any type of summer
Especially
picnic.
you're going to be having, you're focused on the barbecue, you're focused on the unhealthy aspect of the picnic. I always say focus on the veggie first and the fruits first.
You don't have to bring a boring fruit salad, though. You can dress it up. Tell us what you have right here.
So right here is the edible sparkler.
Oh.
Very easy to do. Cut the watermelon, get your cookie cutters out, the star, and
Turn it a little
those are
bit.
so much fun.
That is
Get the
adorable.
kids involved. They'll love to make those. And I just cut the top off of a watermelon to kind of use to put them in. It's a really easy way to
That's so
use
great.
that.
And here's the watermelon.
Yes, the
Here's the
rest-
watermelon. So this is a barbecue grill. I don't know if you can see, but inside I used chopsticks as the grates, and I filled blackberries in the bottom, so it kind of looks like the coals.
Oh.
And
This
then
is
these are just
incredible.
the kebabs. These are the little
So
fruit kebabs.
cute.
It's
And
You know
the
what?
legs. I can't believe the legs.
You know what we'll do, Sharon? We'll take a picture from the top and put it on our Facebook page because you have to see how she
What a
set
great
this
idea.
up.
It wasn't that hard to do.
All right, it's not Independence Day without the flag.
And
so
of
down.
course,
this.
everyone's so used to having a flag cake. But I decided to go a little healthier and do a flag veggie tray.
Oh, how cute.
Just use your favorite white and red veggies. I did radishes, cauliflower, little cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, and some red peppers.
This is so cute.
And there was suggestion that you put blue food coloring in ranch dressing. I just couldn't bring myself to do that. This is chunky blue cheese dressing.
Perfect.
That'll
There's
go
your
right
blue.
in there, and
I
there's your
love
blue.
it.
It might not look blue, but I feel better.
It's a blue.
And your teeth will help you.
Yes. All right. So let's move on to maybe a dessert. There's something in the center of the table that
There is
it's been
something
staring
in
at
the
me the whole
center.
time.
These are strawberry Jello shots.
Oh,
So you take a strawberry, you kind of hollow out the
gonna hold
middle.
this up.
Yeah.
I
pop
mixed
those up.
blueberry or red raspberry Jello with vodka. Let that set, and then coconut milk, unflavored gelatin, and vodka for the white.
So cute.
Well, I
They
feel like we
are-
should probably
we
sample
should
them just to
sample
make
them.
sure
Feel that same
that
way,
they're
Joey.
safe.
They are so good.
Wait a minute. They're coming our way.
Yes,
Coming
just
your
pick
way.
All
You're
right.
on your own. I'm
Yes.
not.
They are a
cute.
little potent. I'm just gonna say.
I don't think we've ever complained about that.
Okay.
Just.
We're not
Now,
worried.
Sharon, you're
We'll
going to
sample
teach
them.
us how to make the
Yes,
edible
so I
sparklers?
did bring some
amazing.
some skewers to make your
Oh, this is
own
good.
sparkler. These are white peaches and white
Oh,
nectarines.
I was going to ask you what the white was. Okay.
Put a little lemon juice on them so they don't turn brown, and
that's a
they'll
great
stay
tip.
white for you.
Can you do that with
So
apples as well?
Exactly.
Lemon
Well,
juice?
Lemon juice, or even orange juice.
Oh, no.
And then the topper is the there
All
you
right.
go.
Linda,
the
take your purple
watermelon.
berries and start. Purple
Well,
because there's no blue.
It's a little craft project here
I love
on the
this.
Suncoast.
This is a
too.
great thing you could do with families as well.
Exactly.
Well,
Get the
look at
kids
the kids
Joey,
involved.
have a
excited
white
about
one.
eating the
Thank
healthy
you.
stuff.
We've got to share a blue one
Yeah,
for
pass
them.
some of the blue ones.
All right.
Well, Sharon, I will remind everybody that if they do not want to grow their own, they can have fresh organic produce delivered right to their home
That's right.
or office if they just go to whitepicketproduce.com.
And this is such an amazing idea.
And you're open for the holiday, which
Have
is
a star.
We're delivering
Great.
tomorrow, bringing corn and all the fabulous fixins for the veggies. and-
That's wonderful. A great way to balance the burgers and steak and some of the
Exactly.
bad stuff that we might be
Exactly.
taking.
There you go.
We can make our own.
This
That's
is such
so
fun.
good. Look at how crafty you
We're
are.
going to keep making our sparklers, and when we come back, we're going to show you some amazing music that is right here on the Suncoast.
Oh, you've got yours a different way.
I know. I put all the blue at the bottom.
Oh, look at that. Oh, beautiful.
Start your day with a new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at 5 o'clock. A judge rules Florida's controversial Stand Your Ground law is unconstitutional. Why the judge has an issue with how recent changes were made. Plus, a top forecaster at the National Hurricane Center shares his concerns about how budget cuts could impact storm predictions. Let's check on our weather right now with meteorologist Steve Newman. Steve?
Hey, Scott, we have a tropical feature we'll be talking about coming up at 5 o'clock, but right now we've had some thunderstorms in the area. You can see a very strong southeasterly moist fetch coming over our area, and a line of fairly heavy storms from Orlando to Tampa Bay, and we're on the bottom end of that, have been rattling your windows around the Suncoast for the last half hour, 45 minutes, but it looks like they're beginning to dissipate very slowly. But there's a chance we'll have them right on the 4th of July, and I'll have that all special forecast coming up on ABC7 News at 5 o'clock.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Since 1928, Kerastan has been setting the standard in carpets and rugs, producing non-allergenic wools that won't promote the growth of bacteria or dust mites like other carpets will. Kerastan wools actively remove contaminants from the indoor air, making your home healthier. And there are many colors and patterns and textures to choose from. Come see for yourself.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
Florida's coral reefs are declining. Bad news for our oceans and marine life. Fortunately, you can help, and you don't have to dive, you just have to drive. When you purchase Moat's Protect Our Reefs license plate, $25 goes directly to Moat Marine Laboratory, whose research, restoration, and conservation programs are helping this precious natural resource thrive once again. So get your Moat Protect Our Reefs license plate today. You just might hold the key to saving Florida's reefs.
And welcome back. There's a treasure trove of musical history right here on the Suncoast that many people don't even know exist. And since we're celebrating our nation's heritage this week, it seems appropriate to incorporate musical history as well. Dave Berry, the manager of Sarasota Musical Archive, is here to tell us all about it. All right, so exactly what is SMA?
SMA is a Sarasota Music Archive. It was started in 1980. By a group of Sarasota musicians who wanted to save the musical heritage of Sarasota and the different ways that music is recorded. Reel-to-reel tapes, vinyl records, cassettes. When they started, CDs didn't exist, so they didn't have a collection of CDs. So they wanted to collect these, and right now the music archive is in the Selby Library on the 2nd floor. And we have over 150,000 items, vinyl records, cassettes, memorabilia that we'll see in a little bit here, and all kind of interesting stuff.
And in this archive, you have like some of the fun items that are from the Independence days.
Yes, yes. I collected some things today that we had, including some older records, some anti-war records, and over on the right we have, starting with John Philip Sousa, who of course is one of the more famous people in songs that we hear. This is actually printed in 1897. Wow. That's the actual 1897 sheet music from there.
Finally, something older than me.
Oh.
First thing we've had on this show.
And it's looking so amazing condition. How do you keep it?
We keep them away from light, away from humidity. in a special area
And
away
people
from
have
people.
donated these. How did you come across some of these, you know, very impressive
Rare
things?
That's a good question. It's all been donated by people over the last
Oh.
30, 40 years, since
And,
1980.
What are
yeah.
these here?
The stamps.
Those are John Philip Sousa stamps.
Oh
Those
my
were
goodness.
Released shortly after his death in 1940. And if you notice the amount on there, I think it's 2 cents.
Wow.
So postage has gone up a little bit
Just
since,
a tad.
since those days.
And
wow.
there's a signature you also have.
Yeah, we do have a couple autographs of John Philip Sousa from the early days in the early 1900s.
Wow.
Oh
That's
my, look
amazing.
at that.
Yeah.
That's great
Yeah.
that people have thought of you as a place to, you know, have their collections be kept safely.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we do, is we make sure they're kept safely and secure.
And everybody can see them.
Yeah,
And
yeah. mhm.
Now, but you don't just have like those rarities, you also have albums. So
Yes.
tell us about some of the albums that you brought.
Yes, we do. We have over 50,000 vinyl records. A lot of them are valuable, too. The first one we're starting with here
Leonard
is...
Bernstein.
Yeah, Leonard Bernstein is directing and on the third movement of Charles Ives' song, July 4th. So I thought that would be
Very appropriate.
for
yes.
today. He created a whole series of songs in the symphony for the local shows. And he played them every time there was a national event.
And a couple of other ones. And how do you know they're valuable?
They're valuable for several reasons. One of them is because they're in demand.
Oh.
It's kind of the law of supply and demand.
Yeah.
For instance, this is an original pressing of this record. It's Jefferson Airplane's Volunteers record. And the interesting thing about this record is there's language on it that was actually taken away as the record was released.
Wow.
Bad words, you
Bad
could
words.
say.
Yeah, you couldn't say those things back then.
But you can say them now, not on
So
the
they're
show.
back.
I love the art on the albums, like
Yeah,
on
like
this
what's
next
this
one
one?
here.
Yeah, this is the most interesting thing. MC5 has some images of the flag here, and this is a group from Detroit, Michigan. These were the forerunners of punk genre of music.
Oh yeah.
And they were one of the first early bands to do that type of music.
Wow.
Again, a little bit of a controversial record. In fact, they lost their contract
Oh,
with
wow,
the
because of
recording company.
controversy.
We
And a
recognize
couple
the backside
two
of this next one.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, that is the back side, but it's actually the front side.
Oh, it is?
That's the famous Bruce Springsteen record.
Yes.
That was one of his most successful records. And the interesting thing about that is it was the first CD released in the United States that was made here in the United States. Before that, CDs were made in Japan and imported.
All right. Well, we have a couple really quick ones, and then the very end.
Yes,
What's this one? Because you got a prop for that one.
Yes, we do have props. We have mustaches from it's the 50th anniversary
for-
of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
All right, well, why not?
And inside that record, which is an example of a valuable record, by the way, is
Oh, that's nice.
a cutout. And the cutout has little cutouts for
Mustache, like we
mustaches
have.
and all kind of things.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave, thank you so much. And now you guys can find out more about the Sarasota Music Archive by going to their website. And of course, always looking for donations if you guys have anything that you think is worth being shown. All right, next, when we come back, we're going to check out a viewer email. We'll be back.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
We have an email to share from April. She writes, so much talent from West Coast Black Theater. Thanks for promoting the arts. So, April, the arts are so important to us here on Suncoast View. And the kids from the youth camp at West Coast Black Theater performed on our show last week. You'll be able to see that entire segment by going to our website, suncoastview.com. And they do also have a public performance of this coming up on July 16th. So great to see West Coast Black Theater doing so many great things. And oh, by the way, Broadway in Black still on their main stage theater. That show runs through July 23rd. Lots going on at West Coast Black Theater. And we're headed to the kitchen where there will be lots going on as well. Stay with us.
The official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Download yours today.
Just go do it. Go do it. If you're not in control, then who is? Live above the influence.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at 5 o'clock. A new concentrated effort to keep our beaches clean during the busy, long holiday weekend.
We are and have been preparing for the worst, but hoping for the best.
Sarasota County officials are doing to make sure our area beaches stay clean over the next couple of days, and if it's working so far. Now let's get a check on our weather from meteorologist Steve Newman.
Scott, a good way to do that is just not litter when you go out there because we've got to clean it up after you. But look at it, all those heavy thunderstorms over central Florida. We're on the bottom end of that. There's been a little cluster from about Parrish, Lakewood Ranch that threw down a lot of lightning in the last hour or so, but it's beginning to diminish, and I think we're going to see a gradual decrease in showers tonight. But they'll be back. I'll tell you the forecast for the upcoming 4th of July and the rest of the week and a tropical outlook soon.
ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
This is an important medical announcement. Barred IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a barred IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Barred Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC filter hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffy Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
We asked you, Suncoast, why do you like ABC7?
I like ABC7 because it's local. It gives me all the local news. The local news, local weather. It's so local and so community-driven. Kelly Wilgus does a great job.
John Scalzi, that's my guy.
Bob Harrigan is wonderful. Stephanie's my favorite.
I like Scott Dennis.
I like them all. We're all very grateful that you cover what you do and you're here to participate with the community.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. Our kitchen is Chef Judy today, and she's going to remind us for your holiday of the great restaurant deals still part of Savor Sarasota.
Let's start over at Flavio's Brick Oven. They'll continue, very nice, Megan, I like that. They're continuing on their Savor Sarasota menu through the end of the month, but their sister restaurant downtown is going to Beulah's is going to have it all summer long. Some of the items that Flavio brought is the roasted beet salad. It's, you know, I love, if I'm going to have 3 courses, I want to start with something lighter and that has the goat cheese and the balance. Then if you want to go really hearty into it, they have the pappardelle, and that's with the short ribs that are braised. He does a grouper baked in parchment paper, beautiful if you're watching your calories, flavorful, light, very Italian style in cooking in the parchment paper. And then a very traditional dish is the veal totoni, and that is poached thin sliced veal with a tuna sauce and capers on top. Another great option for the summer. And of course you have to end with dessert. And if you have chocolate mousse and Bavarian cream and layers of puff pastry, how can you possibly go wrong? Now remember, dinner for Savor Sarasota is $32. A lot of the restaurants offer special wine deals. Coming over here to Madison's, they brought a great display. I'm dying to try this, the queso frito. It's fried cheese with tomato coulis. Okay, like who wouldn't want that? Right? Isn't that yummy? Yeah. Poached apple and red quinoa salad, very balanced, some crunch and texture in it. But again, exactly, Stephanie, I see you with that one. And Nyman Ranch chimichurro bistro filet. Wow. I know that's something that my husband really likes, the meat and potato guy. He really likes that angle. Tandoori Key West shrimp, and this Nyman Ranch pork belly kebabs. And of course, you have to finish with one of the chef's wonderful desserts like a panna cotta.
That's great.
Now, Cafe Barboso probably has the most extensive of the Savor Sarasota menus. There's probably 8 appetizers, a dozen entrees. Wow. It's incredible. And then Joe will make up one of his homemade desserts that was inspired by his Nona. So it's always something wonderful. But they have really brought it here with the arancini balls that are stuffed with bolognese and peas and mozzarella. They're boneless short ribs. I have to kind of put this sign down so you can see it on the creamy polenta. I mean, look at that with the mushrooms, the demi-glace, veal parmesan. For $32 to be able to get an appetizer, an entree like a veal parmesan or a wild mushroom risotto, and it is pretty incredible. Thank you for not letting me burn you all down as I hit the burner with the paper. But Barboso, just wonderful. They're closed on Monday nights, so remember that. The Table Creek side, one of the more elegant spots I find, and every year they continue Savor for the entire summer. They may switch out some of the entrees to keep it nice and fresh and light, but they have everything from their Valencia oven roasted chicken, which I love, and the sea bass, with I think everybody's going to arm wrestle to see who can eat that. Roast suckling pig with an octopus cassoulet, classic and above what you'd find in that French-style cuisine, and braised short ribs. And if you want to go a little bit of both, they have a land and sea with a snapper. Now they also do $15 bottles of house wine, so pretty cool.
Stephanie.
And what, you know what people can remember is not everybody at the table has to order the Savor menu. So some people want to just have, you know, an appetizer or two, that's fine. They're real flexible. And of course our friends at Tsunami. This is a great deal for lunch. They're going to do lunch all summer long, $16, and they have made some beautiful dishes, even some vegan options. They have the ahi tuna tower and sushi and sashimi box. They have steak teriyaki combination with orange chicken, and a sweet potato sushi with a vegetable tofu hibachi. And that's that vegan side, really front forward. They also are going to be featuring on their sake menus, sakes that you can only get at Tsunami, anywhere out of the country. So pretty exciting, all great places to visit. SavorSarasota.org will have the list of restaurants till the end of the month, and then we'll keep that up on our mysuncoast.com/dining.
Lots of great ideas to help you celebrate your holiday. And of course, we're going to do it with our White Picket Produce, fresh fruits and vegetables. So have a very safe and happy July 4th. Take some time and enjoy the Suncoast view.